Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining our Buddhism sharing meeting today. So today is May 13th, and tomorrow is Mother's Day, and May 3rd is Soccer Gakka Day. So I really would like to talk about gratitude. So let me start. The title is The Power of a Grateful Heart. For SGI members, every May 3rd, Soccer Gakka Day, is a time to reflect on our Buddhist practice and express our gratitude to all our SGI presidents and SGI organization, which enable us to nurture and extend our Kozen Rufu movement far into the future. With that in mind, we would like to share Sensei's guidance on 5 reasons to practice gratitude. Now here we say practice, because I know a lot of people may not even know the importance of gratitude. And if you don't know, then we have to practice it. So Sensei gave us 5 reasons why we have to practice. Gratitude is a word we hear often. Studies have shown that feeling and expressing gratitude can benefit our mental health and can even change our brain. Buddhism also teaches that gratitude is key to living with joy and accumulating good fortune and benefit. Sensei says, there is nothing as strong or as sublime as a person whose heart is always filled with gratitude. In the realm of Buddhism, gratitude is the foundation of everything. What's more, Sensei explains that when we have a sense of gratitude and appreciation, our prayers will be answered more quickly. Okay, number 1. Gratitude multiplies our good fortune. It is the heart that is important, writes Daishonin. When we do something, do we approach it with a negative attitude, grumbling, saying, "Oh, not again, I hate this"? Or a positive attitude, telling ourselves brightly, "All right, here is a fresh opportunity to gain good fortune"? Now, this also applies to when we take part in SGI activities. Well, some of us may say, here again. I have to wake up early. I have to chant an hour. I have to attend activities, SGI meetings. So they do it with a lot of regret or unwillingness. And if you feel this way, you are not going to gain anything. Whereas if you regard taking part in SGI activities as a joy, as a benefit, and you are very willing and enthusiastic to do it, then the result will be very, very different. Well, this seemingly small, subtle difference in attitude or in thinking can make a huge difference in our lives. It can change things 180 degrees. This is what the Lotus Sutra and the doctrine of 3,000 rhymes in a single moment of life teaches us. The heart is invisible, and Buddhism provides a comprehensive understanding of the principles governing that invisible heart. It represents the highest form of psychology, neuroscience, and psychotherapy. Appreciation and joy multiply our good fortune. Complaints and negativity erase it. Number 2. Gratitude produces limitless self-esteem. Appreciation is what makes people truly human. The Japanese word for thankful, originally indicating a rare or unusual condition, and later came to denote a sense of joyful appreciation for an uncommon occurrence. Having a spirit of appreciation for someone from whose actions we benefit, a sense that is That is the rarest and noblest thing. Produces in our heart a feeling of pride and self-esteem. I am worthy of receiving such goodness. It provides us with spiritual support to go on living. Now, for example, my sons and my daughters and daughter-in-law always take me out for dinner, for lunches, and sometimes at one time, several times in the past month, I invited my sons to my home for dinner, and they brought along their little cute dog. I didn't expect this. It's a very ugly, or they call it cute and lovely, black little dog. And I was so surprised that they would do this. And this little dog really cheered me up. And I'm so thankful. Although I was giving them dinner, but I was so thankful that they would come to accompany me and bring a dog to give me joy. So actually, I'm very happy. Okay, number 3. Gratitude transforms our life state. If we cherish the spirit to repay this debt of gratitude in the depths of our hearts, then our good fortune will increase by leaps and bounds. No matter how much action people might seem to be taking outwardly, if they lack the spirit to repay their debt of gratitude, their arrogance will destroy their good fortune. Consequently, they will be unable to transform genuinely their state of life. A subtle difference in our spirit produces different results. Number 4, gratitude connects us to others. Human beings owe all kinds of debts of gratitude. We need to be grateful to our parents, to all living things, to our sovereign, or in contemporary terms, society, and to the 3 treasures, the Buddha, the law, and the Buddhist orders. We also owe gratitude to our mentor. Well, in saying that, I was taught when I was very young that when we eat rice, when we have meal, we should say thank you to the farmers who work so hard to produce rice for us. And we should also thank everybody who works hard to make our life easier, like a bus driver, like the milkman or the postman, all those people who help us in our lives. We should say thank you and really be grateful for their helping us. I think this is something which we a lot of times do not appreciate. But please, from now on, try to appreciate every little thing that other people do for us. It could be as small as somebody holding the elevator door or holding a door open for us. We have to be thankful. People today tend to look at others as enemies or competitors in a struggle for survival, having lost the ability to perceive the kindness of others. As a result, people become alienated from one another and feel isolated and alone. But if we can open the eye of our heart, the heart of wisdom, and the eye of the law, we will see just how much others support our lives, just like what I've said. The farmers, the postmen, the bus drivers, etc. Once we realize that, we no longer feel alone, and a tremendous sense of joy and appreciation wells forth from our being. Buddhism teaches the importance of repaying such debts of gratitude, and that doing so constitutes the correct way of life for a human being and is the mission of a Buddhist. To lack gratitude is a sign of poverty of the human spirit. Number 5, gratitude builds unshakable happiness. Mrs. Ikeda said, I like the The wisdom that I like the best was sent to me by my husband. He wrote, "Complaints erase good fortune. Grateful prayers builds happiness for all eternity." This means that we must have a positive outlook in everything we do. I have made this a personal habit, says Mrs. Ikeda. Now, let us think, how shall we express our gratitude? How? It's easy. Just say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Use this as a motto. You know, my mentor, the member who taught me chanting, "Thank you, Go Hansen," is her motto. Every time I was with her, whether she would find a parking space, whether the traffic clears up for her car, anything small, she would say, "Thank you, Go Hansen." And her situation has become better and better. So let's just try to show gratitude to everybody who comes across our path. Say thank you. And in the evening, when we do our evening gonyo, say thank you. Thank you, Go Hansen. Thank you for having a good day. Thank you for the problem that we have faced today. Because the problems are to help us grow stronger, become a better person, and to learn. Now, lately, Chloe and I had a little talk. She told me that she is really bothered by a client. No, Chloe does social work. She's a social worker, and she helps a lot of people who's got problem, who's got mental disease or whatever, or those people who are in need. And these people are very rough people. And there is a client that she is helping who yells and scolds and keeps on talking and yelling and without giving Chloe a chance to speak. And Chloe told me that she is able to handle all these clients very well. But with this one, she's really bothered to the extent that she sometimes have bad dreams. So, and she said that this is her problem. When she is being contradicted, she didn't know how to react. So I told her, this is exactly the lesson you have to learn. You have to learn how to handle situations like this, how to stand up for yourself. No, Chloe is such a sweet little girl. She never know how to stand up for herself. So I told Chloe, this is the time when you really have to learn. This difficult client is giving you a lesson, it's giving you a chance to learn what you have to learn, what you don't know. And if you have learned, then you have become a better person, a stronger person. And when you have come to that stage, you will thank this difficult client who pushed you to learn what you haven't learned. And as I have told everybody, there was a young dentist who almost pushed our dental business to bankruptcy. I mean, we had to shut down business because of him. But of course, the time was difficult to handle the situation. But with my chanting, with my determination, I was able to turn things around, and our dental business became better and better and better. And at the pinnacle, at the peak of our businesses, we sold the business to this dentist. And now, although the time was difficult when I was facing this problem, but looking back, I thank this dentist, because without him, I would not be able to push myself to the extent that we can expand our dental business. And in the end, we were able to sell our business at a very, very good price to this dentist. So I'm grateful. I thank this dentist, although I didn't like him at that time. So let us express our gratitude. Say thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank the Go Hansen. I don't know how many times have we thanked the Go Hansen. Now, I'm so glad today I heard a voice recording from Judy Chen, whose husband had been very, very sick in the hospital. And then in the past few times, she said, okay, he's making progress, but. So, which means that she was not grateful. All right, she wants something more and more. So I told her, please take this off your vocabulary. Don't say but. The minute you say but, you are not grateful. You just want more. So I think Judy has learned. And today, in her recording, I could hear her say, thank you, Go Hansen. Thank you. My husband is making very good progress. So if you know how to show gratitude, how to say thank you, your situation will really become better and better. I don't know whether there is another member who is attending my meeting today. This member has been trying to find a job for a long, long time, for half a year or whatever, and she was not able to obtain a good job. So when I talked to her, she was very, very down. But I hope that she will be able to listen to the video or attend our meeting. So she will learn how to say thank you for this difficult time, because it really means something. When I talked to her yesterday, I was trying to analyze with her why she was not able to find a job. It's because she was looking at something which she is used to be doing, she is good at, but this business has declined since the pandemic. So I asked her, I said, why do you have to go back to this sort of businesses? You may be good at it, but you've got your degree, you've got your education. You can branch out to a lot of other jobs. So please look out for other opportunities. So I think if she can do that, I'm very sure that she will get a very, very good job. And she will be able to thank the Go Hansen for this time, because then she can change another career or for a better future. Okay, so let me go on to the other topic. So the next topic is compassion. Buddhist compassion could be briefly described as the desire to relieve suffering and to give joy. The most basic wish of all people is to live happily. Yet human society is shaped by forces that work powerfully against this basic desire. From violence to environmental destruction to manipulation structures, such deep inequalities between people. Buddhism sheds light on the inner dynamics of human life that leads us to create such an undesirable reality. One of the most evil and powerful desires inherent in human life, according to Buddhist thought, is the desire for power over others, to control others, the urge to overpower other people. In this condition, the ego finds its most unrestrained and destructive expression, regarding others simply as a means to satisfy its selfish objectives. Soka Gakkai described the world as the domain of the devil king, and all people as being under the rule of this devil. But if human nature is the cause of our most terrible problems, it is also the source of the fundamental solution. We create a problem, we have the solution. The offsetting force to the destructive aspect to human nature and the suffering it produces is compassion. Compassion, a sense of harmony with others, with all life, arising from a wish of mutual happiness and growth, is the heart and origin of Buddhism. Buddhist compassion could be described as the desire to relieve suffering and to give joy. Compassion is often thought of as akin to pity, but whereas pity may be condescending, compassion springs from a sense of the equality and interconnectedness of the life. Compassion is rooted in respect for the dignity of life, our own and others, and a desire to see that dignity triumph. True Buddhist compassion has nothing to do with sentimentality or mere pity. This is because sentimentality or mere pity cannot help the other person achieve victory in life. It cannot truly relieve suffering and impart joy. Because a genuine compassion is about empowering others, helping them unlock strength and encourage them from within their lives in order to overcome their problems. For example, although resolving a difficult situation for somebody may seem compassionate, if this ends up making them weaker and less self-reliant, this will not contribute to the actual happiness in life. The essence of compassion is empowerment. In simple terms, compassion doesn't mean that you do everything for that person. Compassion means we encourage other people to tell them that they've got the power to solve their problems by chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. This is real compassion. The effort to offer others effective encouragement for their specific circumstances is what gives rise to wisdom. Well, wisdom is very important. Compassion without wisdom sometimes may produce opposite effects. And compassion and wisdom also needs courage. Because if you have compassion and you've got wisdom and you do not have the courage to speak out or to reach out to help other people, then it means nothing. Therefore, wisdom, compassion, and courage go hand in hand with each other. Nichiren Daishonin established the practice of chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo as a practice means for people to bring forth the strength and rich potential of their humanity and live with confidence and joy. Sharing this practice with others is therefore the most essential act of compassion for practitioners of Nichiren Daishonin. That is, encouraging other people and teaching other people to chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo is the most essential act of compassion. We see people suffer. We know there's a way to help them out, to erase their suffering. And this means is to chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. This is why we would like to introduce Buddhism, Nichiren Buddhism to them, to teach them chanting so they can help themselves to solve their problems and to erase their suffering. A life based on compassion means a staunch belief in the unrealized potential of others and ourselves. It is easy to give up on ourselves and others in the face of our failure and foolishness. Such loss of faith in humanity is characteristic of our troubled world today. To continue to believe in and encourage the innate goodness and potential of our own and others' lives is the core of the philosophy of Nichiren Buddhism. It is also the bedrock of a firm optimism upon which all people can base their actions to bring about positive change in our world. So, let's talk about living with optimism. So we all know the difference between optimism and pessimism. Nichiren Buddhism teaches that the supremely respect-worthy life state of Buddhahood, complete with the highest wisdom, courage, and compassion, is within the lives of all people. When we review that life state, our perspective is transformed and we can build a state of undisturbed, absolute happiness. In this selection, President Ikeda explains how those who embrace the mystic law can lead lives of optimism, in which life is a joyous experience. Now let me further explain why embracing the mystic law can lead lives to optimism. Because when we embrace the mystic law, when we chant Nam Myo Ho Renge Kyo, and when we believe that we ourselves are Buddhas, and we have the characteristic of a Buddha, that is, wisdom, courage, compassion, life force, good fortune, peace at heart, and all those good qualities. So when we come across any problem, we know we can solve it. And after solving the problem, we will rise above to a better situation. This is why we can be optimistic. Even when we face with very difficult situation, we are optimistic because we know by chanting, we have the power to solve every problem. So we can be optimistic. And we can have a joyous life. So let us lead vibrant and joyful lives. We have the Gohonsen. We have the mystic law. That means each of us is an embodiment of the mystic law, an embodiment of infinite good fortune, and a majestic treasure tower. As a result, we will not be defeated. We have nothing to fear. This is why we can afford to be optimistic. When we believe that our life is a treasure tower and that we each embody Buddhahood, we come to find life itself enjoyable and pleasant. Attaining and savoring such a wonderful state of mind is the purpose of our Buddhist faith and practice. Those who live their lives in the realm of the Soka Gakkai, in the realm of Gosen Rufu, will enjoy such a joy-filled state of life eternally. Do we live our lives as optimists or pessimists? Pessimists focus on the sad, painful, gloomy side of things. Oh, what if I do if my husband dies? What if I do if my wife falls ill? What if I cannot achieve my goals? What if my daughter falls in love with someone who is no good for her? What if my husband doesn't get well? What if I cannot get a job? All these negative feeling, all these pessimistic thoughts. So if you are always thinking pessimistic thoughts, pessimism will taint your mind. You will never be able to be happy. If you are always seeing things in a negative, gloomy light, bemoaning your situation and worrying, oh, I never have any money. Oh, no, another meeting. Or, oh, what if my boss scolds me again today? Then life will be nothing but a painful austerity. On the other hand, you can look at the bright side of everything. You can take what happens and view it in a positive, hopeful, and cheerful light. This is optimism, the ultimate form of which is faith in the mystic law. For example, if you get sick, you can say, now I can get some rest. It will give me a chance to reflect on what I've done wrong and turn over a new leaf. And with hope in your heart, you can declare that you won't let this sickness defeat you, that you will survive it and thus vanquish the devil of illness. Optimists are strong. They see the positive in everything and decide to make it a reality for all to see. We hope you will live with optimism, remaining undefeated by whatever happens in life, transforming hardship into joy, and laughing off adversity like the famous actor Charlie Chaplin. Well, I'll tell you something about my experience. When I was in Hong Kong, I was talking to a lot of members, and they all told me about their problems. And a lot of times when they told me, I know it's not right, but when they told me their problems, I laughed. And they said, why do you laugh, Lydia? Because I said, I laugh because I know your problem can be solved. It's a smaller matter. It's smaller. It's not as big as you think. This is what I love. Because actually, I laugh at a lot of things. And I hope those people don't mind. I think they don't mind because they see that if I laugh, I will bring forth the optimism, the positive energy in them. And they don't feel so bad. And they can see light. But I used to be a very negative person. I was a pessimist. But because of my years of Buddhist practice, my 20 years of experience, I know that whatever difficulty we face, we can overcome it. And we will even become a better person. So this is why I've changed. I'm now an optimist. And I can live my life with joy. Okay, my next topic is do not compare yourself to others. Be true to who you are and continue to learn with all your might. Even if you are ridiculed, even if you suffer disappointments and setbacks, continue to advance and do not be defeated. I hope that all of you will continue struggling to fulfill your mission so that you can adorn your life with victory for the sake of the Lord. Actually, this is what Sensei is saying, it's not me, okay? I fervently wish that always maintaining a youthful spirit, you will lead a fulfilled and noble existence, completely free of any cause for regrets. Herein lies the essence of faith and the spirit of SGI. Number 1. Faith is not separate from the reality of your everyday life. The great use of Gohansen appears everyday life and the relationship with society. Buddhism proclaims the great law that allows you to solve your practical problems. So when you encounter difficulties and troubles, you must first boldly turn to Gohansen and engage yourself in a strong exercise of faith. I know a lot of members, when they have problems, they will start using their brain and think, okay, well, what should I do? How should I do it? And they will ask a lot of people. But instead, the first thing they should do is turn to the Gohansen. Start your chanting and ask the Gohansen for a solution. This is the first thing that we must do. Number 2, Buddhism means victorious. It's a struggle. Life too is a struggle. Therefore, only by persevering and winning can we attain true happiness. When I first started chanting, the member who taught me chanting said to me, she said, Lydia, we have to win. Buddhism is about winning. We must win. So this is what she has taught me. Because she said, if we lose, then we will affect a lot of other members because we will not be able to show the goodness of the law, the goodness of chanting. This is why we have to win. Number 3, health. Health is a daily effort, a combination of strong prayer and careful, actual, practical action. Please live out your lives to the fullest. Doing so is a great challenge. Live long lives, no matter what happens. Live vigorously, right to the end, so that you can look back over your life and say, what a wonderful life I had. That is the true meaning of a healthy life. Number 4, everything in life is part of our training. It is for our own benefit and development. We must resolve to accumulate right now in the situation we find ourselves at this moment. Everlasting good fortune for ourselves as well as for our families and relatives. The human revolution of a single individual can transform everything in a direction leading towards happiness, hope, and peace. Please advance joyfully and in high spirits. Now I'm going to share with you an experience by a young member in the United States called Dave Drake, who came to the United States from England, facing a lot of challenges. But he was able to do so with gratitude. Let me start. He says, taking Ikeda Sensei as my mentor, I learned to live with gratitude and strength. He says, this was the summer of 2018. I'd been in the lawyer's office for maybe 5 minutes, and that's all he needed. Him and the other dozen immigration lawyers I've seen over the past 3 months. He wanted to migrate to the States, so he went to see a lot of lawyers. But the results have been very disappointing. And the conclusion that he got was that my best chance of staying in the country was to give up my dream of being a musician and take on another profession. If I wasn't putting my talents to use at the most prestigious level imaginable in the service of the world's most famous pop icons, I better prepare to pack my bags and catch a flight back to England. Anything short of employment with an A-list celebrity was not good enough. Actually, just a year earlier, I may have agreed with that assessment. Urged by my father to excel as a pianist, and in every aspect of my life, I deeply internalized the assessment of judges and panels, good or bad, as truthful appraisals of my value as a human being. Towering above them all in the importance was my father's assessment, and towering above those of any judge, any panel, were his expectations. When praised, I felt my life had value. When not, I felt my life had none. At least, this is how I perceived my life before encountering Buddhism. By the time I walked into that lawyer's office, I'd been practicing for over a year and wasn't nearly as so fragile. To myself, I repeated the words of my mentor I'd chosen to engrave in the depths of my life. There is no one as strong as a person whose heart is always filled with gratitude. Tucking my portfolio under my arm, I rose and gave my sincere thanks. A year earlier, his assessment would have devastated me. Now the bleak opinions of every lawyer in New York were winds in the sails. They only strengthened my resolve to secure my visa. This is how he faced all the comments, the bad comments from the lawyers. The only assessment that really mattered to me was that of my mentor, Ikeda Sensei, who was unequivocal. My life had infinite value and potential. It was time to chant fierce daimoku, take action for Kosen Rufu, and show actual proof of the power of this practice. The sense of confidence I gained since taking up my Buddhist practice was leagues away from the false confidence, the arrogance, really, that had once been my M.O. I had a difficult time trusting others when I was introduced to Buddhism in 2016. I was cautious. Who was this person? Daisaku Ikeda? Was he someone I could trust? I wanted to know right away, so I read a lot. What I began to perceive was the heart of Ikeda Sensei, the tremendous appreciation he has for human life, and crucially, for his own mentor. I thought to myself, here is a person who, by any standard, has made monumental contributions to the world, and yet has never once ceased to see himself as a student, as a disciple of his mentor Josei Toda. I perceived that it was thanks to this approach to life that he had traversed all manner of trials and emerged from them with deep humility, deep appreciation. This mentor-disciple relationship, this spirit of appreciation, I realized, was the key to becoming a person of genuine strength. At the same time, brothers in faith took me under their wings and gave their all to fostering my growth. I began supporting SGI activities, and as I did so, I realized just how much in life is based on what is unseen and just how easily it can be taken for granted. I began to feel gratitude for friends, fellow musicians, and perhaps most significantly for my father. True, he had pushed me to my limits as a young performer, but he was present, had wanted my happiness, and as a fellow human being, deserved happiness too. I began to approach all my relationships differently, asking, how can I encourage this person? My greatest pride was working and performing late on Friday evenings and then waking up early on Saturdays to do SGI shifts at the New York Cultural Center. Regardless of my visa situation, striving in faith in the same spirit of my mentor, I couldn't help but showing up with a high life condition in all areas of my life. As the window and time for me to secure a work visa drew to a close, I did not panic, but continued to give my all to SGI activities. One day, packing up after a concert, one of the musicians I was performing with pulled me aside and said, "You know, I think you will be perfect for this faculty position with a great arts institution here in New York." It turned out to be one of the leading arts institutions in Manhattan, a historic organization that is recognized across the world. He arranged a time for me to meet with one of the managers of their programs. However, their position had already been filled. I continued to chant and take action. The same manager reached out to me a month later and asked me to support as one of the pianists for their national conference. To me, it was a tremendous honor and a wonderful opportunity. At the end of the conference, he said, although we still have all our positions filled, but we would like to create a new position just for you. Soon after, another musician connected me with immigration lawyers whose organization specializing in securing U.S. visas for UK musicians. They sponsored me to apply for my visa, which brought the price down to a tenth of what I was quoted everywhere else. Furthermore, because I have just gained my new position as a faculty member at this prestigious institute, they were confident that I would be successful in my application for the visa, and I was. I have since gone on to enjoy a wonderful, demanding career as a musician in New York. But the greatest benefit has been internal. I have my own measuring stick, my own barometer of how I want to live, and that barometer is the lived example of Sensei. Holding fast to my mentor's spirit, a spirit of profound gratitude, he has made me strong, and in turn has allowed me to forge ties of real trust with my family, friends, and fellow musicians. No longer swayed by praise nor criticism, I can connect deeply with others and be grateful for what they have to teach me. So this is what I have to share with you today. I will leave the time to the rest of you who have attended this meeting to share with me whether you have expressed how you have expressed gratitude or whether you have expressed gratitude in your own daily life.